Yeah, so we continue our discussion on love. We've been trying to define love.
Yes.
We've been trying to find out what it is, because we have committed ourselves to loving each other.
Yeah.
That's for those that are in a relationship, in a marriage relationship. We've talked about the covenant, we've talked about all those things. But what we have done is that we have committed to loving each other.
Yeah.
And what we need to understand, what we have been trying to understand as we've been talking about this, is what that love looks like, or what it really means. Because we know that some people have a strange understanding of it, or an incomplete understanding of it. So some people maybe think that love is just the infatuation that they felt on the day when they fell in love, or the feeling they felt. But we have been able to establish that actually it's more than that. Yeah, we have established that it goes beyond that. So obviously we've talked about love. We have said love is patient.
Yeah.
We have said that love is kind.
Yeah.
We've tried to define. We've talked about love being unconditional.
Yeah.
We talked about love not being envious.
Yeah.
Love not being proud. Does not boast. It's not proud.
Yeah.
We defined all those things. So today we continue still looking at love in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5 and 5a, because in verse 5 you have A, B, and C. So A talks about one thing, B talks about the other, C talks about the other thing. So we didn't want to take all the three and put them together and talk about them, but we thought we would take one and then deal with the other. So today we are taking the one that says that love is not rude.
Yes. Love is not rude.
Love is not rude. That's 1 Corinthians 13, verse 5. Did you want to say something?
I don't know. Do you want me to read this?
Yeah,
first?
we can go ahead. Obviously, we have a tradition of giving ourselves some task.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pose a question to all of us here, and we'll probably look at it again towards the end. So the question is: think of a time when you have been rude to your spouse. Think of a time when you have been rude to your spouse. What was the result?
Yeah.
And was it worth it? So think of a time that you have been rude. For those of you that are not yet married, think of a time that you've been rude to maybe to your children, to your friend, to your colleague. Think of a time that you've been rude. What was the result, and was it worth it?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about this again.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But if you are able to think about it, just let us know. This is a conversation. This is an interactive kind of conversation. So we want to hear your views. And as we share with you our views, and I'm sure we'll be able to give you a little bit more about ourselves.
We'll think loud ourselves.
We'll share some of our experiences as well. But before we do that, it's important that we just understand what we are talking about. So when we are trying to look at this, the word, love is not rude. And we looked at 1 Corinthians 13, verse 5. Now, we compared all the different versions of the Bible, of the scripture. So we have the King James Version, we have the New International Version, we have the Message, we have the Jubilee. And so when we looked at all those and the different versions, there was a good number of versions that were saying love is not rude. But then the ones that I've mentioned, that's the KJV, NIV, Message, and Jubilee, used a different word.
Okay.
So the KJV said love does not behave itself unseemly.
Yeah.
And then the NIV said it does not dishonor others.
Good.
So the key word for KJV is unseemly. The key word for NIV is dishonor. And then the Message says love doesn't force itself on others. And so the key word is force.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then Jubilee, the Jubilee Bible says love is not injurious.
Okay.
Like an injury.
Okay.
So love is not injurious. So I was interested when I saw these different, words being used like that. So I just looked at all of them. So the first word that I began to look at was the word rude. So love is not rude. So I checked the English dictionary, and it said the definition of rude is discourteous. Discourteous or impolite.
Yeah.
So love is not discourteous and it's not impolite, especially in a deliberate way. Especially in a deliberate way. It's being rude is being without culture.
Yeah.
And is being without culture, is not being learned and not being refined. So it's like do you want to say something?
Yeah, so to the audience, what would you say being rude is? What is the meaning of rude to you? If you can just type there, what comes to your mind when we say, when you want to say you are rude? What do you mean? What is that? We'll keep going as you type. We'll be looking at your answers as well.
Okay.
So you can go.
Yeah. So that's the definition of rude. The definition of unseemly is not keeping with established standards. So like every environment has got standards, or what we may call maybe etiquette.
Yes.
A code of conduct, how you need to behave yourself in a certain area with a certain group of people and all that. So unseemly is not keeping with the standards of taste or proper form. And then unseemly also was defined as inappropriate for the time or for the place. So something, so someone will be rude if they, behave inappropriately, or their words are inappropriate words for that time or for that place. Then, they are coming across as being rude. The other word was dishonor, which was defined as a disgraceful character. Yeah, it's a disgraceful character. And then the other one was force, which was power to influence, affect, or control.
Okay.
So if someone has got excess power to influence or to affect the other person or to exercise control, then they are coming across as being rude. Injurious was very interesting. It was defined as being harmful, being hateful, or detrimental.
Yeah.
Insulting, abusive, defamatory,
and
offensive.
Yes.
So when the Bible says love is not rude, this is simply what it's talking about. So there's so many words there that we've talked about, and so I think the ones that were really interesting is harmful, hateful, abusive, insulting, defamatory, detrimental, and offensive.
Yes.
So rudeness is embarrassing and irritating for a spouse.
Yeah, it is.
So when okay, so before I go ahead of myself, so what does it look like? I mean, in a relationship.
Yeah.
When you say someone is being rude to a spouse. So here is what it looks like. It looks like, passing some bad jokes about your spouse. Saying something that you may consider to be a joke. You are joking maybe with your mates, your friends, about your spouse. And this could be either way. It could be from a husband to a wife, or could be a wife to a husband. So we are talking about it in general terms. So joking about your spouse in a rude way, in a hateful way, in an abusive way, in a defamatory way. So it looks also like bad table manners.
Okay, so we are saying that being rude sometimes can be seen in the mannerism.
Yeah, in the way
and the etiquette.
Yes, the way we conduct ourselves.
And this is where, when we see where it says that not keeping with the establishment. Yeah, established standards. Established standards. I think this is where we bring in the culture as well. Yeah. Because of the way some of the cultures are, some of the things that we do, which might seemingly look okay, to another culture, it's perceived as being rude.
Yeah.
So this is why we've got to learn and know how we can behave and see how we can act in the presence in a certain place.
Yeah.
Yes. Or how we can do those jokes. Otherwise, we are seen to be rude.
Yeah. So the other example is, making sarcastic jokes or comments about your spouse. Being sarcastic. When you make certain comments about your spouse. So so when you joke, when you joke with your friends, and your joking is like you are being sarcastic, or you are making a bad joke about your friend or your spouse, that comes across as being rude. So we can add to that list.
Yeah, and I remember I had to make a stop. I had to put a stop to this behavior in the office. Sometimes, if you get to know each other, and of course, the limits. You can't just be opening your mouth, talk about this. But again, there is that socializing in the office. You talk about this, you talk about that. You get to know each other. You become somehow part of the family, because we spend a lot of time at work than we probably even do at home. You are there maybe 8 hours every day, and so you get to, and sometimes I think I had to put a stop to this, because if we are joking with ourselves, I think sometimes other colleagues, they will get a tendency to want to joke about your spouse as well, in a way that is rude. So I had to put a stop to say, no, when we are joking, I'm talking about you and myself. Do not bring Adrian in this thing, or do not do this. So you've got to make sure that you put a stop to that. Otherwise, someone might be rude even to your spouse, maybe to your wife, or they might be rude to your husband if you let it. They may say, oh no, we are just joking. But some of the jokes, like Adrian is saying here, some of the jokes are actually sarcasm, and they are rude sentiments.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anyone that likes being around someone that comes across as being rude.
No.
I personally do not want to get anywhere near that person.
No.
If they are coming across as being rude. So no one enjoys the company of a rude person.
No.
So, you can't, and jokes like joking about your spouse's maybe weight or something, that's a no-go area.
Yeah.
Whether they are slightly bigger or smaller, that's not something that you can, joke about with your friends. The way they dress, that's not something you can joke about with your friends. So that's plain rudeness. And we are saying love is not rude, just to try and emphasize that. So this kind of behavior is very embarrassing for a spouse. It's very hateful, and most importantly, it does a lot of damage to a spouse. So someone that always is being rude, being sarcastic, or passing certain comments about a spouse, about maybe their weight,
their hair,
the way they've done their hair, but you may be saying, oh no, it's just a joke. No, we were just joking.
Yes.
I didn't mean, it wasn't serious.
Yeah.
But what that does is that it demeans the other person.
Diminishes,
demeans
and
so it affects their self-esteem.
That's right.
Their confidence.
Yes.
It takes away their confidence.
Yeah.
So every time when you are in their company, they will be looking so small. They will be looking. You don't realize the seeds that you have planted into their minds.
That's right.
So
it's destructive.
It's very destructive, especially when it's coming from a spouse.
Yes, and detrimental.
Yeah, when it's coming from a partner, someone who is supposed to lift you up, jokes about your weight, jokes about your hairstyle, jokes about your dress, jokes about the way you chew, and all that with his friends. It really reduces you to just nothing, So it really robs from someone's self-esteem. Could be man or woman. We're talking about both sides. Although I think women do a little bit better in this area than us men. I think we are culprits. But so it's very damaging.
Yeah, and then someone has said here, it's perceived rude when you cut in like maybe it's in conversation when you are talking, like,
yeah.
These are the cultures that we have learned. And I think I was a culprit. Even now, I try not to be rude in that area. Someone will be talking, I'm ready to answer, and it's perceived as being rude, especially in the culture where we are, and even where in Zambia or other countries, it's rude to answer. Like that. And to
interrupt like that.
Yes, and it's rude to answer back to elders. Oh my God, in some cultures.
It's very offensive. No wonder when we say, can we go for dinner? And then your spouse says, no, I'm not coming. Or can we go and, meet some of my friends? They'll be like, no, I'm not coming. Why? You haven't actually realized that, the words that you use towards your spouse in the company of other people are hateful.
Yes.
They are demeaning.
Yeah, true.
They are abusive.
Yes.
You know. And then your spouse says, no, I can't go out with you. No, we can't go out together. No, we can't go out for dinner. Because it's because it's like it's really offensive. So
someone also said you criticize, or it's rude to tell your partner to say, chew properly, look how you are chewing. Probably not when you are the two of you. I think I've done this with Adrian. When you are the two of you, you can say, chew properly. And I like saying this to my son. I don't know whether he's listening to this. I keep telling my son, please chew properly. Why are you chewing like that? But this is in the family. However, some of these things that we do inside the home, you forget and you carry that outside, and you might go and repeat.
That's right. But the flip side of that is that we don't have to, entertain everything that, people are doing.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But there's a way in which we can communicate in a loving and gentle way. We can put it across and say, oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Now, the thing about being rude, especially as a spouse, when you are in a relationship, the thing about being rude is that sometimes it's not so much of a big deal on the offender. It's not so much of a big deal on the offender as it is on the offended. What I mean is, you can just pass a joke. If you are joking, like myself, some people know me to be very quiet and very reserved.
I like that.
Yes. I like it. I am quiet and reserved.
Yes, you are.
But sometimes I can be very jovial. I can just manufacture a joke.
Yes.
And then people can laugh and to me it really never meant much. I would just joke about her and we'll just laugh about it and then move on. But to me it wasn't a big deal.
What is that? What wasn't a big deal?
The bad joke.
Which one is that?
Maybe there's. I'll give an example. I'll give examples of my experiences. One time we were with some friends. Obviously I haven't discussed. I haven't shared this with her.
That's been rude.
Oh, really?
You should have discussed with me. Come on, go on.
Well, I put an example there. I said I was going to give my example.
Yeah.
But I didn't, disclose it because I wanted it to come as a surprise.
Okay, that's fine.
So I can make the point. So we'll see whether it will be a good point I'm going to make.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, because what I'm trying. Okay, I won't say what I'm trying to achieve. So we were with some friends and we were just talking and we were reflecting on our relationships, how we fell in love and so on. And then I can't exactly remember how the question came about. Someone passed the question, maybe something like, oh, if you were to be given a second chance, would you marry her again? Something like that. And obviously what I should have said was 100%. She will be the one. But to me, it was a joke, and I was joking with my friend, and I said, oh, knowing what I know now, I would pray harder before. That's I was joking. No. I thought it was a joke, but I don't know do you remember the incident?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, she remembers
but because you see, this is one good thing about me.
Yeah.
I easily forget things.
Okay.
And it's good because if I was to keep them, maybe I'll just come and freak out and be rude again.
Yeah.
So
But the moment I said that, then within me, within my conscious, I was conscious stricken. You know, I think that was God saying to me, you don't say that about your wife.
Yes.
You know, and I was just like, Lord, forgive me. And I looked at her and I noticed that I think she had not, I don't know, I think, okay, she says she remembers the incident, yes, but I think she didn't really take it to heart. So I just brushed it quickly and moved on. And then we never talked about it. And I think this is when it's coming out again. So,
but would you, if you had a second chance?
Absolutely. You haven't even finished the question. I would be going for you.
I love this. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so the other time when I was, when I found myself in this situation of, being rude to, to her. I mean, we're giving examples because I think the question you asked was, when were you rude and so on?
Yeah, when were you rude? Yes. So the question again to those that have joined us is, think of a time when you have been rude to your spouse, your children, or anyone.
Yeah.
What was the result? And was it worth it? So you can see what Adrian has said. So think of it. You don't need to write here. Probably you will need to discuss later, or you need to talk about it later. Just think about it. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
What was the result, and was it worth it?
Yeah. So let's share the second one. Another one. We went for dinner at some of our family friends. They are elderly, so we call them dad and mom. So we went there, and I am very free with dads. We used to talk. We would talk, and we were just having a conversation and just enjoying ourselves. And then the meal was served. And guess what? I think it was, what was it?
Yeah, it was salmon, fish pie, salmon.
Yes, salmon pie or something. And then I said, wow, this is lovely. I've never had this. What did I say?
He said, I've never eaten this
I've
before.
Never eaten
this
this
is
before.
So nice. I've never tasted this
I've
before.
never eaten this.
I was like, Adrian, please keep quiet here. I know it's nice, but keep quiet. You are rude. Why are you talking about?
So yes, now obviously as we continue, we are going to balance it. We'll tell you why some people would be, why some people are rude.
Yeah.
And especially the second one got me as by surprise. Because as far as I was concerned, I was like trying to compliment or just trying to, just trying to express that gratitude and saying, oh, I've never had this before. This is lovely. Don't
repeat though.
Yeah. But no, I'm never gonna do that. I've learned. Yes. I'm not doing that. But what I did not realize was that saying things like those is an indirect way of saying, maybe she doesn't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's never cooked that for me. It was an indirect way of saying that. And that's plain and clear. And everyone understands that. Yes. Except for me, I never understood.
Yeah, which is good. No, thank you for that.
So I understand now. Yeah. So let's move on now. So that was the situation. Now, some examples other than my examples. I mean, some examples of how someone can come across as being rude. Things like, calling your spouse from a distance.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone has done it before, no matter how lovely, whatever language you can use.
Yeah.
But calling your spouse, your husband or your wife, from a distance, I think that's rude.
Yes.
I think that's rude. If someone thinks that's okay, just let us know that, no, it's okay. You can call your spouse from a distance, but it comes across as being rude. Someone said interrupting a conversation. So your spouse is having a conversation with someone, and then you jump in, and then you, without excusing yourself or without saying, oh, excuse me, can I just have a quick word with you? You just come in and you say, oh, no, we need to go. Remember, we have to, and then your spouse is having a conversation with someone. I think that comes across as being rude. And we are saying love is not rude. So you can't just come into, your husband is talking to a friend or to friends, male friends. They are having a conversation, and then you come in as a wife and say, oh, no, time is gone. We need to go. Remember, we have to do this. Yeah, it's true. You have to go somewhere. You have to rush somewhere. But you have to be courteous. You have to come in and say, oh, excuse me. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can I just have a quick word with you?
Yes.
And then you just take your husband by the side, and not coming in and boom, 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 and then you know that comes across as being rude.